Hi, I'm Sean Kosofsky, the Nonprofit Fixer with the Nonprofit Fixer YouTube channel. This is where I give tips, tricks, tactics, and insights into nonprofit leadership, board development, and fundraising for everyone for free. So today we are going to be talking about how an executive director for a nonprofit should quit. That's right, sometimes this happens. I'm going to give advice about how you sever the relationship between the executive director and the organization. This can be pleasant, it can be unpleasant, it can be something that's expected or not expected, but essentially there comes a time where the executive director may want to leave because they have other choices, other career goals, other interests, or they want to retire, or they're moving, or they're just burned out. But there are a lot of reasons why an executive director might want to leave an organization. So some of the reasons why an executive director might want to leave include that the role just isn't a good fit. I've been there. I've been leading an organization where I realized pretty quickly I'm in over my head, or I don't have the right skill set to lead this organization, or I'm just not enjoying myself, or this cause is so important, I just don't think I should be the one running it. They need someone who's better equipped to help them reach the mission. So if the role isn't a good fit or the culture isn't a good fit, the executive director might want to resign. Also, burnout or exhaustion. These are other reasons why someone might want to leave a nonprofit. Maybe over the course of their life or with this organization, they've just worked so hard or don't have the coping mechanisms to stay or interest to stay. So they're burned out or they're exhausted and they need a break. So they've decided to resign. Maybe they just have another job opportunity. Someone has come in and made them an offer or encouraged them to apply for something that might be easier or more interesting or more challenging. Also, you can find that an executive director might leave because they are stifled or pigeonholed. So sometimes a board can be really suffocating, or the staff or the funders can be really suffocating. So an executive director under those conditions might want to leave. You also might have a toxic work environment. This could be sexual harassment, this could be meanness, it could be discrimination, it could be yelling and screaming and shouting at people. It could just be really, really toxic and dysfunctional. Finally, it might be a good time to just retire, and that's another reason why an executive director might leave, is to do less work or no work. And these are all reasons why someone might leave. In the blog post that I linked to down below, you'll find a long explanation of this whole topic, including 3 specific examples of when I left an organization. One was at NARAL in North Carolina, one was at the Tyler Clementi Foundation in New York, and one was sort of a messy departure where I left an organization in North Carolina. You can read all of those in that story down below in that link to the blog post of the same name as this video. But my recommendations for an executive director who's departing to do so with integrity is the following. You need to put yourself first. All workers need to put themselves first. When you're doing the job, you should put the organization ahead of all things, right? But as an individual, our first obligation is to our own wellness and health. So trying to balance those things is important. But when you're deciding whether to leave or not, you need to put your own interests first, not the nonprofit corporation's interest first. Because if your wellness and well-being isn't being factored in, then you're not going to be a great leader. So another thing to use and think about when deciding to leave is to prioritize a smooth transition. What I mean by that is you want to create as little friction and as little challenge for the organization as possible. That means trying to work through who's going to succeed you, what the process is going to be. Are you going to do a search? Is the board going to do a search? Is there someone who's next in line who's ready to take over already? How do you prioritize a smooth transition? That might mean having a longer exit horizon. It might mean staying on as a consultant for 3 to 6 months or even a year after you leave if you're a founder or you've been there a long time. But having a smooth transition really just makes everyone happy. Give as much notice as possible. When you're the executive director, a lot is hinging on your role. So it could be disruptive to funders, your staff, vacations, sabbaticals, all sorts of things to have the executive director leave. So you want to give as many people as much notice as possible. First and foremost, your chair. Secondly, your staff. Third, your stakeholders like funders. Then you want to make sure that you're planning ahead. And that means proactively working with the board to create a transition plan if you can. Even if you don't get your way, you want to make sure that they are prepared and putting steps into place for a smooth transition. Be prepared for emotional reactions. If you're a founder or you've been there a long time, there will be emotional reactions. People don't like change. They don't want to lose their friend and colleague. They might start wondering whether it's time for them to go also. All of these are things you need to anticipate. Also, help ensure stability. The perfect world would be that the organization purrs along without you. A good executive director isn't someone who roots for the place to fail after they leave. You should be setting up systems for this organization to withstand shocks to the system, like losing its executive director. So read the blog post down below, get some tips and tactics for how to resign or how to leave with integrity. And I'd love you to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and let me know what you thought about this video in the comments down below. Thanks so much.